PK52, the Saturday morning meeting. Over the last couple of weeks, we've talked about video content, about getting yourself out there. I mean, the skinny of the last 2 weeks is basically identify yourself. Get a video out so the customer is comfortable with you when they come in. They recognize you. They already know your skill level. And so it's really all about selling yourself. There are so many things we can do to speed up the content, to speed up what we're doing with the customer, and to speed up their process, and really to speed up their happiness. Nobody wants to spend 6 or 7 hours in a dealership buying a vehicle. For example, I've still got people all over the country that call me to ask me, can I call ahead, find a car for them? They're looking for a specific car, and I've got a select few dealers that I'll just pick the phone up and I'll say, got a customer living close to you. If you can source this car for them, they'll come buy the car. They're going to come buy the car. And so, I'm only as good as the first time that I don't come through, but you know what? They're looking for an easier way to buy a car. Just had a couple of friends from Austin come into Dallas-Fort Worth. They were looking for a solar octane Tacoma. The dealership sourced it without any kind of deposit, had it there. They came in on a morning. They were out of there by noon, had the car they wanted. Price was fair. Everything was good. And so I just really believe there's a lot of people that would like to do their research, maybe go to a couple of dealerships and look at the car, maybe actually drive the car. And then when they get ready to buy the car, they want to expedite the car deal. They do not want to sit around and go back and forth. They want to buy the car. And I honestly believe they'll pay a higher margin if the experience is exactly what they want. And I call it the Amazon experience. It's crazy. We used to have to go to the grocery store to buy items. I found out through my wife now that if I need something, Amazon Prime might be able to deliver it to my house in 1 hour, which is less time than it would take me to get in my vehicle, go purchase it, and bring it back home, which is absolutely amazing. Well, since the world is becoming an Amazon Prime world, then we've got to expedite what we're doing. There's so many things that take time. When a customer comes in, they find a car, we get the pricing of the car, and then we have to do all the paperwork. We've got to do a credit application. Credit application has to be submitted. So I know that all dealerships out there, the Toyota side, I know not everybody is 100% on SmartPath. Let me tell you about SmartPath. There are some things about SmartPath that I already think they can improve. And that's the good thing about SmartPath, because Toyota didn't go hire a SmartPath vendor who they have to go through a middle broker to get anything accomplished. That's all done in-house. So as the dealers become more and more in tune with SmartPath and say, I could use this, this doesn't work, this will work, then SmartPath is going to be ever evolving. So I've got a customer that wants to buy the vehicle. I got a one-off vehicle. I've got a deposit from them digitally. And so they're coming to buy the vehicle. I hook them to SmartPath. They go inside. They get inside. They get a rate. They get pre-approved. And so what I've done is I've expedited their day at the dealership and given myself more time. So once I've got a customer that I know is going to buy the vehicle, then the videos that I should send out are, hey, just wanted to make this as simple as possible. There's a couple of ways you can do this. First of all, not coming in on a Saturday between 9 o'clock and 5 o'clock is a really good thing, because that's when the majority of people buy their vehicles. And the wait time, even if you know exactly what you want and we have everything done, the wait time is going to be triple or quadrupled. That's the way it is. If you can come in after a work or during a lunch hour or something like that, I can have everything prepared for you. You're in and out. Everything is golden. So by sending that video, you give the customer the option. If they want to come in at Saturday at 11 o'clock, they already know, and you've already taken the curse off it, that's a very busy day. The second thing is getting that credit application and all the paperwork done. They need a copy of the driver's license. They need a copy of their insurance. All of that can be sourced digitally before they come in. So having a package completely ready for your business manager speeds up the process and also speeds up your place in line. Let's say that I'm using SmartPath. I've got all the information. I've done the digital information. And the reason you're doing that is to help the customer not spend all day at the dealership. There's no reason why you shouldn't send a video out saying there's a couple of things we can do to speed up the process. I don't know how you bought your vehicle last time, but if it's been a couple of years, usually it takes a half a day, if not longer, to actually get in, get your vehicle, and get home so you can go show it off to your friends and family. I do not want that to be a part of today's transaction. So here's the things I need you to do. driver's license, insurance card, credit application, whatever. All that stuff is available now that we have SmartPath, and just embrace it. And I'll tell every manager and every salesperson that's watching me right now, you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. Toyota spent millions of dollars on SmartPath to make it easier on the consumer, and so it's not going away. So the faster you embrace it, the better off it's going to be. Use it to your advantage. Now, there is a lot of technology built in our cars. A ton of technology. If you haven't bought a car in the last 8 to 10 years, which there's drivers out there that haven't, remember they told their last salesperson, I'm going to keep this forever. And once again, I'll explain to everybody that's watching right now, forever is not a number. You can't start at 1 and end up at forever. Forever is not a number. It's a random word. So nobody keeps a car forever. They're going to trade the car, sell the car, total loss the car, or die. Nobody keeps a car forever. And so all cars that are sold will eventually be back in the market unless they're completely total lost. And if they pass away, then their relatives either going to sell it, trade it, or total loss it, or they're going to die. So every car is going to be available again. So the technology from an 8 to 10-year-old car to a 2024 or 2025 car, completely night and day. I mean, name something that really hadn't changed. Well, Casey, they still have tires on there. Okay, I'll go with that one. But all the technology and all the safety features and everything continued to be enhanced. Drive systems are incredible now. I mean, I've got basic vehicles now that have world-class drive systems. From, let's just call it lane keep, lane assist, dynamic radar cruise control. That's simple. But when I get into crawl mode and multi-terrain select, if a customer's never had that before, a few minutes at delivery, there's no way they're going to understand that. But I honestly believe that nobody's ever going to look at you and go, I'm so stupid, I didn't understand any of that. They're just going to leave and never, ever use that technology. I want to use the video or the digital side of the world to be able to expedite more sales for me. So I'm going to produce a video sometime about the actual functions of crawl mode and what each mode is designed to do and how to use crawl mode. So, hey folks, this is crawl mode. Let me go through crawl mode for you. Here's the different levels of crawl mode. I want you to keep this video because the first time you really get a chance to go off-road with your vehicle, and I'm not talking about, rock climbing. I'm talking about just off-road on a sandy or gravel road. You can actually experiment with crawl mode, and it's phenomenal. I know you think it's great. It's a lot better than you think it is. So keep this video. It's just a link. Just keep it right there in your text. And the first time you go off-road with your friends and everything, open the video up, put it right there, and watch it, and then try each one of the crawl modes or multi-terrain select. Do it the exact same way. And so now they've kept this for 6 months, and they get their best friend out. They go on a little dirt road adventure. Maybe they're going fishing off-road or whatever. And they go, oh, I got a video. Let's try this crawl mode out. And they go right there in the video. So now your customer's been introduced to you. And then the person that's with them or the people that are with them are now introduced to you. And I don't know why you wouldn't hashtag that and drop that online. There are a lot of people that buy a vehicle and then immediately go online to learn how to do something. You guys, if you follow me, you know that I ride motorcycles. Well, I just put some equipment on my new Ducati. And I didn't read the instructions because the instructions are horrible. I mean, I can read the instructions and never complete the task. So immediately what I do is I put in the spec number, whatever it is, Ducati, Desert X, and then what I'm trying to accomplish, and I put it in YouTube. And there's 4 or 5 videos where these people walk me through how to install this in a very, very unique manner. And a lot of times I'm skipping steps because the steps they had in the instructions were confusing. And so I'm using YouTube to be able to enhance my motorcycles. I can use YouTube to be able to figure out how to drive my car. Well, I want you to be the YouTube. It takes a few minutes to be able to cut a video on crawl mode. And then you have it. And you put it in your YouTube account. And I've talked to you about I don't care if you use Instagram or whatever you use. But I use YouTube because YouTube will let me store all my videos. This will be 483. They don't charge me for the storage. So if somebody comes up and says, Casey, do you have anything on this? I can go back 2, 3 years, 4 years back, grab the video and send it to you in an instant because it's there. And the more videos that you have that show the technology or the ease of the transaction, One video you can send to the customer. Don't use their name. Just make it a generic video. Hey, KC here, just real quick, to make it easier to get the car, to make it faster, to make it better for everybody, and especially you. Here's the items that I need you to complete before you come in. And there's several ways you can do that. Send that out. You have one video sent to every single customer. And then they can choose if they want to use that format that you just sent, or they want to go the old school way and come in and sit and wait and wait for the opportunity to get into the business office. That's fine. That we've got that down pat. We're good at that. But how about expediting your time? I had a salesperson, this last week when I was in LA, and he basically looked at me and goes, and he just said, I spend all day at the dealership. I don't have any personal time. And I got to be honest with you, if you're new in the business, that first year, you're going to spend some actual time in the four walls of that dealership because you don't have a client base and everything, and you need to hustle, and you need to get yourself on the map, and you need to start building your client base. So there's nothing you can do about that. That's what happens with a new hire. And if you're really good, then you build your base. But the crazy thing about it is once I've built my base, then I want to make sure that every hour that I walk in the dealership, that first hour of every day, that I'm working my base. I just spent some time with Gulf States Toyota. Just got back from Houston. And one of the things they talked about is, how do we digitally get in front of the salespeople? I said, well, let's quit doing 3-hour digital classes, because who wants to sit there and stare at your computer for 3 hours? If we have a message to give somebody, let's give it in 10 minutes, get the message out. If there's another message next week, let's get that message out. And let's start being efficient in what we're trying to do. I'm asking you to think about every single thing you say to a customer that you repeat over and over again, regardless of who the customer is. It's the same with every single customer. There are things that we have to do in order to complete a transaction and make it a legal transaction under your state law. And so if it's something that's repeated with every single customer, get that out in the form of a digital format and get it to the customer so they know their expectations. Man, when you're comfortable and you feel good about who you're dealing with, then the yeses come more frequently and they're going to come back. We've talked about that so many times in so many different videos. If all of your customers came back and their family members and their extended family members and the people that are in their world, their friends and the people they work with, if you were impressive enough that they've moved other people to you, then your biggest problem is running out of time to deliver all the cars. We've got salespeople out there in the Toyota world that are delivering 50, 60, 70 cars a month. They're not doing that by standing outside, discussing the game they watched last night with 4 other people and trying to sprint out to somebody that just showed up on the lot. What they've done is they've created a database of people that are eventually all going to buy cars, because nobody keeps a car forever, because forever is not a number. And then they start referring other people to you. I'll give you one last thing that you probably won't do. Let's say, for example, you have 4 service riders, 20 ROs a day, 6 days a week, 52 weeks in a year, 24,960. Make that 25,000 repair orders written out of that shop. If you have 8 service riders, that's about 50,000. So you know how many service riders you have. The crazy thing about it is more than 50% of the people that have work done on their car do not wait in that customer lounge. Somebody picks them up and brings them back. So instead of standing outside with 5 other people when there's no traffic, how about looking at somebody that gets brought in by somebody else and jogging over to them and said, hey, I see you just brought Bob in to get his Tacoma. I said, my name's KC. Here's my business card. Now that you know where we are, feel free to give me a call at any time. It doesn't matter if it's a year from now, 2 years from now. Let me know, and I will take care of you just like I took care of Bob. So I don't understand why you wouldn't try to greet the people that brought your customers in. So let's say you did half of them in a year. You went back there and just worked your space when there's nobody in the front of the dealership. So I don't know, half of 25,000 is over 1,200. It's 1,250 is what it is. So now I've introduced myself to another 1,250 people that know where the dealership is and have a friend that's using your service department. So obviously they like the service department and the product they bought. So the greatest thing about it is when you start working for yourself, thinking that you're going to be better at what you do by doing the exact same thing that everybody else does, Does that really make sense? The people that are multi-billionaires in the United States have figured out the same thing everybody else does. They don't do anything different. They wake up, they go to work, they eat, they sleep, same, but they figured out a new wrinkle or a new method on an old task and become billionaires. Be my next billionaire. PK52, the Saturday Morning Meeting.